from opposite ends of the state, both angling to be among the four that will host playoff games in just 6 weeks' time. We've got highlights from Burr and Burton versus Essex coming up in just a little bit. But first, welcome in for week 4 of the Friday Football Frenzy.
Hard to believe, isn't it? But we're hitting the midpoint of the regular season this weekend in Vermont high school football. We have a good slate of games that should go a long way for playoff positioning tonight. Yeah, we had 3 D1 showdowns featuring teams with winning records and 2 more in D3 tonight. But we're going to kick things off with a playoff rematch down in Rutland. RHS trying to bounce back after suffering their first loss. They hosted an unbeaten St. J team seeking revenge for last year's quarterfinal defeat. 7-7 game in the third. Rutland in the red zone. Hands off to Grady Gallagher. He's going to bounce to the outside, powering and spinning his way across the goal line. RHS in front 13-7. Later in the third now, Rutland on their own half of the field. Gallagher another handoff. Working the sideline, he would throw off one topper with the stiff arm, breaks another tackle there, strides by a third defender. He's into the open field, 64 yards on the score. The red and black rolling up 21-7. St. J marches down into the red zone in the fourth. Maddox McFarland rolling out to his right, lofting a pass into the end zone, hauled in for Cole Lemieux for the quick 6 to get the Toppers within 8, and they would get a chance to tie. But with 1 minute left in the fourth, St. J in the red zone, McFarland rolls out, and the route is jumped by Gallagher. Rutland holds on to win this one, 21-13. Both these teams on the road next week. St. J's going to pay a visit to the Seawolves of Burlington, South Burlington. Meanwhile, Rutland is at Mount Anthony. Speaking of playoff rematches, unbeaten Mid looking to avenge their semifinal loss as they hosted 2-1 CVU. Mid firmly in control here late first half. Ben DeBishop taking the toss and heads right, but looks way downfield for his quarterback. It's Brady Lloyd. He delivers a dot right in stride. Lloyd into the end zone for the score. 35-0 Mid into the break. Second half now, Tigers pick up right where they left off. Logan McNulty powering his way for a first down and more to keep the drive alive. And DeBishop has the honors of finishing off the drive. Takes the toss and goes right back up the gut. Caps it off with a little goal line leap. A big win for the Tigers. They win at 42-0. Massive game again for Mid next week as they host Hartford. CVU will welcome rival Essex on Saturday.
All right, speaking of Essex, they were 2-1, hosted 2-1 Burr and Burton tonight. The Hornets down 1 point at the break, but they start the second half off strong. This is Sam Bent on the keeper. He's got a hole up the middle. Bent picking up a huge chunk of yards. He would be dragged down from behind, but no matter for Bent, he's going to keep it on play action a few plays later. He finishes the drive to put Essex in front by 6. BBA, they've got the immediate answer, though. Handoff coming to Owen Casson here. He's going to take it untouched. The Dogs take that lead right back by 1 point after making the extra point. Essex had the chance to get it right back. They are deep in BBA territory, but after the runner is wrapped up, all of a sudden, Blaine Niquette, he's running the other way with the football. The scoop and score, the Dogs seize control of this game right there. Then early in the fourth, how about another long run? It is Casson, guess who? Put this game on ice, a big-time road win. Burr and Burton taking it 27-13. They move to 3-1 on the year. The Dogs will host Brattleboro next week, while Essex heads to CVU.
Time now for a cross-division matchup in St. Albans as BFA welcomed in U32. Raiders with the ball first, but the Bob White defense up to the task early. Braylon LaValle taking down Charlie Fitzpatrick for the sack here, and the BFA offense would do its job as well. Porter Sweeney punching it in from a couple yards out as the Bob White strike first, but U32 would take control from that point forward. Kane Knapp finding a seam in the lane, and he's going to rumble for a big chunk of yards down the sideline before he's finally taken down deep into BFA territory. And no touchdown poaching here. It is Knapp from 1 yard out. 28 unanswered for U32 as they take it 28-7. The Raiders will host North Country next Friday, while BFA heads to Colchester for a Saturday night kick.
In one more D1, D2 game, Fairhaven hosting Brattleboro. The Slaters get the ball in the first quarter. Cody Adams, he's going to take it on the QB keeper, but Brattleboro's Colby Bristol, he sacks him, punches the ball out. The Bears recover. However, this game would remain scoreless after 1 quarter. Still no score into the second. Fairhaven backed up after a punt. Sam Cahill sweeping across the O-line, then back across the field, bursting into the Bears' half. Eventually would be forced out of bounds after that huge chunk of yards. A few plays later, though, Caleb Long on the counter. He hits a wall of Bears initially, but keeps the legs churning. He bounces out into open space, wins a foot race to the pylon. That would put the Slaters in front. They would cruise in this one, 35-0 shutout win. The Bears led to BBA next week, while Fairhaven will host Bellows Falls. All right, coming up next.